was the most badass I rest my case moment you've witnessed in court. Back in the early 2000s, I worked for a company called Mega Evil D Bag Corp, MEDC. Their main business was giving credit cards to people with terrible credit. I'm talking single-digit credit scores and they would still say yes. Due to the type of people this attracted, almost 80% of customers stopped paying after their first bill once they realized it wasn't free money. As staff, we also had company cards, but with better rates and higher limits. Because of the number of defaults, MEDC had a deal with a nasty debt collection agency. Once a month, these collectors would come into our office, head straight to the records room, and walk out with bags full of account files. They were supposed to take files from a specific desk, but they often took whatever they wanted. One month, they managed to get my paperwork by mistake. That kicked off 6 months of hell. Letters, calls, emails, and even collectors showing up at my house, threatening prison if I didn't pay. But I didn't owe a thing. My account was open, my card was in regular use, and as per staff rules, I paid the full balance every month and could prove it. But the collectors didn't care. When I told them where to go, they wouldn't stop. So finally I said, take me to court. And they did. On the day of the hearing, I walked into court alone, representing myself. I had nothing but my wallet and a glass of water. Across from me sat 3 well-dressed solicitors with shiny briefcases, thick files, and smug faces. They glanced at me, clearly thinking this would be easy. The judge walked in, introduced himself, and kindly explained how things would go. He asked why I didn't hire a lawyer. I said this was a simple case and not worth the money. When he asked why I had no paperwork, I said I didn't think I needed any but would request a small rule break later if he allowed it. He agreed, and things began. The debt collector solicitors started as they were bringing the case against me. According to them, I had a MEDC credit card, used it, and stopped making payments. MEDC closed the account, sent it to collections, and the debt was sold to them. They tried to contact me for 6 months, but I refused to pay. They presented the contract, account statements, letters, and even proof I had received some letters. They claimed I told them I didn't know who MEDC was and denied having a card. To them, this was a slam dunk case. In fact, they had nothing. When it was my turn, I stood and immediately apologized for wasting the court's time. I opened my wallet and took out the obviously well-used Evil D-Bag credit card and explained I never denied having one or regularly using it. I showed my company ID proving I worked at MEDC and explained that as staff, I had to pay the full balance monthly, which I always did. I asked for the statements they were using as evidence. They handed them over. I showed the judge that each statement showed full monthly payments, no missed bills, no overdue amounts. I told him the account was still open and had even been used that week to buy petrol. The judge stopped me and asked the solicitors if my account was open or closed. They confirmed it was definitely closed. They confidently said yes. Then I asked for that rule break I mentioned earlier. I requested to make a phone call, which the judge allowed. Using the customer service number from their own evidence, I called MEDC. On speaker, I asked the rep for my current balance and next payment due. He gave both. Then I asked if the account was open or closed. He said it was open. Lastly, I asked if there was any record of debt collection activity. He said no. I ended the call and thanked the judge, and quickly explained that since I studied law at a level, there was something I had always wanted to say in open court, even though it's not really done in the UK. And before he could say anything, I said, I rest my case. The judge just about went mental. He dismissed the case immediately, but refused to let the solicitors leave until they had explained why they were chasing me for a debt I very clearly didn't know. He wanted details on how their added fees were calculated and what they were really charging me for. He even said that while I had no proof of what was said when they came to my house threatening prison, he was inclined to believe me. He warned them that going forward, in cases involving their clients, he would be more inclined to accept verbal testimony like mine. The judge told me I was free to leave if I wanted to, but the solicitors weren't going anywhere until he had answers. As I left the courtroom, they were on the phone with their clients demanding those answers. The judge smiled at me and said, "Well done." I smiled back. I'm sure the solicitors